Hi, everyone, and welcome to Bound by Grace podcast. My name is Amber Hunt. I am here in beautiful Hawaii on Schofield Barracks, where my husband is active duty serviceman. His name is Brent Hunt, and he's been in for 17, almost 18 years. We have 5 children that live with us and 2 that live with their mom in North Carolina. So we're a blended family, and so 7 together. I really wanted to do a welcome podcast. Unfortunately, Andrea and I couldn't get our schedules aligned. And that's just going to happen. It may happen a couple of times, and that's because we are on totally different time zones. She's 6 hours ahead of me, so it is to be expected. And we also have, both of us have 5 children, so it's going to be a little busy. But our goal here is to make a podcast at least once a week. Hopefully we can get a couple of them on the books so that way we can release them and be ahead of the game. So that's the goal. But I wanted to welcome you to our podcast and to our group. If you're a part of the group, if you're not, please become part of the group. So on Facebook, it's Bound by Grace podcast group. We would love to have you there. It's a place for all of us to get together and talk about marriage, talk about relationships, talk about children and raising them in a faith-based area. So we would really like you to be a part of that. If you know of anyone that could benefit or would love to be a part of it, please share. Share as much as you can. We would really appreciate it. So I do have to apologize. It's going to be a little rough getting started. I've never done a podcast. I attempted once, but it fell through. But recording myself makes me a little nervous. I think that anyone getting started, it starts off a little rough, but we will get better. And I think with our listeners being engaging, it will just keep getting better. So I'm not too worried about how it starts as much as how it ends up. So I did want to talk about my testimony a little bit. My testimony, so God has brought me through the trenches of life. I cannot tell you all the things that I've been through. That's going to be on a different podcast. But just to give you a little insight, I've lost a child. I've had multiple miscarriages. I've been married twice, have been in abusive relationships. I grew up in a place that was heavy on addiction and abuse and neglect. And then God made a way, and I moved in with my parents, my biological father and my stepmother, when I was 10 years old. I do not know where my life would have been if I didn't have the opportunity to be a part of a family that showed me what stability was, what it looked like, what a healthy marriage was, and what that looked like. It doesn't mean you're perfect, because God knows I'm not perfect and our marriage is not perfect. But I do feel like the reason why I was called to do this is because our marriage is healthy. And a lot of marriages nowadays, especially, they're not in a healthy place. So I think that there's a big difference between perfect and healthy. And I would have to say mine is healthy. I don't think any marriage is perfect. But I do know that with my background and Andrea's background, that we have a lot of insight into what healthy looks like because we've been unhealthy before. We've been in toxic before. But I do think that this podcast is going to be beneficial for Andrea and I as well. We're not doing this to be like, look at me, I'm perfect, I have all this insight into things. I think that this is a way for me to draw closer to my husband and draw closer to God and our walk with God and how to raise our children, because we are going to be doing the work on every discussion that we bring up. We're going to be doing the research on that subject. We're going to be diving into the Bible to see what kind of scripture backs it up. I also want to bring in scientific backgrounds on certain things. And you'll learn more of what I mean the further we go in our podcast. But I do want multiple channels to feed this podcast. So our ultimate goal is to build a community of like-minded men and women from all backgrounds, that all we want to do is have more of a stronger walk with God in our marriage and in our child rearing. So I think that is what our main goal is. You're going to have to excuse me. I am in the middle of recording this, but because of my nerves, I did write down some notes, so I want to make sure I didn't forget anything on here. But we're going to be here in Hawaii for about 3 years at least. My husband plans on retiring here, but he is very ambitious. He wants to make E8. So if he does, that'll extend his time in the Army by 2 to 3 to 4 years, depending on when he gains that rank. So we could stay in Hawaii for, 5 to 6 years instead, and that would be fine. As long as I get this position, which I believe I will be getting. I've been told that it's mine. It's just a matter of it unfreezing. So that's what I'm waiting on. But our hope is that, like I said, we gain our listeners. Like-minded is going to be important. And then people that maybe are just curious. You don't have to be like-minded. We like that other people have different opinions. That's totally fine. That makes us grow by hearing a difference of opinions and positions on certain subjects. So I don't want anyone to be deterred from joining the group that may not even believe in God. That's totally fine. But that's going to be our take on it. We're going to do more biblical based foundational stuff. So I just wanted to put that out there in case somebody is interested in maybe a couple's blog or podcast and they want to get that insight into what healthy is, but they're not really there spiritually. That's totally fine. We don't worry about that. So with all that being said, we hope that our listeners will share the group and the podcast with people in their circle. And we hope to grow into something that really helps and inspires our listeners. And we look forward to engaging with everyone during this journey. So that's basically it for the first podcast. Short and sweet. Hopefully, if you have any questions, you'll comment on this post. You'll share this post and then get on the group, and I'll possibly post it on Facebook. I'm still learning again, so I'll see how I can do that, but I'm hoping to link it to Facebook as well so you guys have access. But you guys have a wonderful night. For most of you, it's night. For me, it's afternoon. So thank you for listening, and you guys have a wonderful and blessed day.